Surah 72, Al-Jinn, by the one who is denoted by the name Allah, who created my being with his names in accord with the meaning of the letter B, the Rahman, the Rahim. Say, it has been revealed to me that a group of the Jinn, fire beings, listened to Al-Quran and said, indeed, we have heard an amazing Quran recital. It guides to the right course, maturity, perfection. So we have believed in it, and we will never associate partners to our Rabb. Indeed, exalted is the nobleness of our Rabb. He has not taken a wife or a son. Our inadequate understanding has been making us claim foolish things about Allah. We had thought that mankind and the Jinn, people call them the fallen angels, but let us remember that the Malaika, the light beings, are of a different sort, and they're perfect and sort of beyond gender, would never speak a lie about Allah. And yet, there were men and women from mankind who sought refuge in men and women from the Jinn, thereby provoking each other in excessive carnal behavior. And they had thought, as you thought, that Allah would never resurrect, ba'ath anyone. This verse indicates that the Jinn, like humans, have no proficiency pertaining to life after death, resurrection. And we touched the heaven, but found it filled with powerful guards, forces, and burning flames, rays that impeded our judgment. And we used to take up positions therein to listen. But whoever listens now will find a burning flame lying in wait for him. And we do not know whether evil is intended for those on earth, body, or whether the Rabb intends for them a right course, the maturity to observe the reality. In this verse is a clear proof that the Jinn have no knowledge of how people will live, how their essential composition of names will manifest in their lives, and what their purpose of manifesting in the sight of Allah is. And among us are the righteous, and among us are those who are below the righteous state. We are of various ways different breeds, species, races, a cosmopolitan community of different makeup and understanding. So see, God doesn't create demons. Some of these things choose to be demons, though. And we have become certain that we can never invalidate Allah's command upon earth, nor can we escape him by flight. When we heard the guidance, Quran, we believed it was the reality, and whoever believes in his Rabb as his own reality will not fear any deprivation of his rights or derogation. And among us are those in submission, and among us are wrongdoers who rebel against the commands, and those who submit are the aspirants of the fullness of the reality. But as for the wrongdoers who disobey the commands, they will be firewood for hell. If they had walked upon the path to their reality, surely we would have watered them with water of knowledge and gnosis. We would have tried them with it to reveal their true nature, and whoever turns away from the remembrance of his Rabb, he will subject him to an increasing suffering. Indeed, the places of prostration are for Allah, masajid, mosques. So do not, while in the state of prostration or place thereof, turn to things besides Allah. Whenever Abdullah, the servant of Allah, Muhammad, peace of God and prayers be upon him, in this instant, this example refers to him initially, and prayers be upon Muhammad doesn't mean that people are praying to Muhammad. Is that they mean that, the peace and prayers and stuff belong to God, and they're, according to God's way and surrender to God, and the influence to do that comes from Muhammad and the creations that favor, again, so benedictions basically, stands to turn to him. They crowd around and stifle him, say, I turn only to and act only from my Rub. Never will I associate others to he who comprises my essence. Say, I can neither give you harm nor form the maturity in you to experience the reality. These are things for Allah to manifest through you. Say, for none can save me from Allah, and there is no place of refuge besides him, except for what Allah reveals and his risalas, the knowledge he discloses through his messengers. So, whoever disobeys Allah and his Rasul messenger, for him there is fire in which he will abide forever. But when they see the thing that they have been promised, death, they will understand who the minority and the helpless are. Say, I do not know whether what you have been promised is near, or whether my Rub has set for it a long period. He knows the unknown, and he does not disclose his unknown absolute essence to anyone, except for a chosen, purified Rasul, delegate, and indeed he places guards in front and behind him, the messenger, that they may know that they have conveyed the disclosed knowledge of their Rub. He has encompassed whatever is with them and recorded everything in detail. And let us remember that just like we in this physical body can be punished or go through hardship because of conditions of the physical body and the things that it is composed of or react upon it. I mean, people can die from too much of a particular vitamin or something. That's part of the reason why we don't eat certain things, right? So when we hear the fire bangs and they're punished by fire or chased off by fire, it's like, well, they're of a different dimension or an extra dimension or something like that. It's not the fire of this realm. It's a spiritual reality, and it's distinct from the spiritual reality of the incarnate bodies. But all that stuff sort of overlaps. But yeah. So God could create God definitely has the ability to create the conditions for them to experience reward or punishment.